Hi, Woody.
Good evening, guys. We're getting started shortly. What's up, Woody? How you doing, sir?
Doing fantastic, brother. How are you?
Oh man, I'm loving the artwork behind you.
Oh yeah, just some fun splash paint, some fun stuff.
So cool. We're doing great. Happy to see you.
Happy to see you, man. Honored to be here.
Getting people jumping in now. They should be joining us. Let's see. Uh, Awesome, awesome. Where are you at right now? Are you in Utah or I know you're
Yep, back in Utah. We'll be here probably for 3 to 4 years till my daughter graduates high school.
Oh, you're settling for 3 or 4 years, huh?
Settling's a strong word with me, brother. I don't know about that,
Jeez.
but I'm temporarily here. How's that?
You're parked.
I'm parked. Yeah, let's just go park. Park's a good answer.
Yeah, there's a better word for you, parked.
Yeah, the car is turned off. I'm not idling. I'm parked, and so we'll see how long we stay parked.
All right, cool, cool, cool. We're gonna get started right at 7:05 maybe. We're supposed to have a lot more people on. Let's see. Usually people jump on the minute. Oh,
Of
it's crazy.
course.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So your daughter graduates in 4 years, huh? So she's going through high school, sophomore, junior, senior,
Yep.
freshman.
Yep. So she's a freshman right now, and we are just holding on until she graduates. And after that, I will probably buy a motorhome and never sit still ever again.
Oh my God. I don't know how you guys do that.
Only because we don't have anything else, meaning that we're so used to being nomads that being stationary scares the living daylights out of me.
Yeah. And I'm opposite. Being a nomad scares the living daylight out of me. Like,
Yeah.
it's like
It is funny, based on our drives and stuff, it is funny how what we get used to and what gets normal. So I grew up in the same house my entire life, same bedroom. Met my wife, we bought our first home. I'm like, we're gonna raise our kids here. And she looked at me, she's like, no, we're not. We're gonna move. Because she grew up moving all the time. Her dad was a nomad. I'm like, no, 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 man. I had the same house, same bedroom. And of course, she went out. And now I'm totally addicted to always being on the road. Like always, I don't care where I am. One of my best friends said, "Hey, your home is where your fridge is." I'm like, yeah, if I'm in a hotel and that's where my fridge is, then that's my home.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. And so for me, I feel like if I don't have a central place, I feel out of like control, right? I'm like, I need somewhere to be back home.
Yeah, it's weird. I actually feel more comfortable now in chaos than I do in stationary, consistent living.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, this is gonna be good. Now we're gonna having people log in. I'm just gonna welcome some of the team on. Hi, Sindrell. Hi, Eric. Hey, Daisy. Good to see you on. Sam, what's up? Chad, what's up? Chris Williams. Hey, guys. CJ Purcell. I urge you guys to come out on camera, right? As always. Hi, Joy. Good to see you. Joy of living. Deidre, it's been so long since I've seen you last. Johnny, what's up? Andre, good to see you, Spaceman. Kenneth, hopefully you don't mind me calling you Spaceman. Every time I think of you, I'm just like Spaceman. It's just from our conversation that we had. Keith Jones is on. Awesome. Yes, this is going to be great. gonna be great. Loretta, good evening. Melissa, good evening. Who else? Sharon. Hey, Sharon. Hi, Valerie Smith. We miss you. Good evening. Okay, coolio. We've still got some people jumping on. Woody, how much time you got
Evening.
today? Because I want to be very mindful of your time.
Oh, my presentation will probably take 20 minutes.
What? That's it? Awesome.
I'm all about the short, fast, and sweet.
Short, fast, and sweet. I love it. Well, Woody, our whole community knows, most of us know you. We appreciate you. If you don't know Woody, he's one of our instructors, international speaker, self-development and personal development coach, entrepreneur, now social media expert. I mean, this guy, I mean, you have written so many books, and I've just been able to learn so much from you. Your books, your teachings have inspired me and Yas and have helped us to just be better people all around. So I know in our group, you don't need an introduction, but everyone, please put your hands together for Woody Woodward. He's going to
Oh,
take it
yeah.
away. Take it
I've never had that happen on a
away.
Zoom. Yeah. Awesome. Let me go ahead and share screen.
All right.
There we go. All right.
And is there anything that we need to do, like as far as have paper out or pen? How could we be best prepared?
Just sit back, listen, and enjoy.
All right. There you
Just about taking notes for yourself. Go ahead and mute yourselves just so you're able to participate and not distract anyone else who's coming and going. But let's kick it off. In 1932, during the Great Depression, a young man had lost his job, like many people did at that time, standing in the soup lines, trying to get food, trying to provide for their families. And during some of this downtime, this man found this really fun game called the Landlord's Game. And he'd play this game all the time. And then he thought, I should make my own game. So he took his time and his energy and having lots of free time. He was carving little wood pieces, designing his own game. And the Landlord's Game, the woman who invented that, her name is Lizzie Maggie. She patented it and she showed it to the Parker brothers and tried to get them to buy it. They turned it down. 20 years later, this is like 1905. And then in 1920s, she showed it again to Parker brothers. They still turned it down. But his friends asked him to make his friends asked him to make a game that they could all play. So he started working on this game and everyone was starting to enjoy it. And he thought, you know what, I'm going to take it to Parker Brothers. He takes it to Parker Brothers and they write 56 reasons why this game is not going to work. So imagine you're talking to the experts, it's the Great Depression, and they say, here's 56 handwritten reasons why this game is never going to work. Don't do it. We're not interested. Please take it somewhere else. So he goes to his wife. He says, you know, sweetheart, I love you. We're in the Depression. I don't know what's going to change. What if we borrow $5,000 from friends and family? We print our own games and I'll go sell them door to door. Now, this is way before the internet. This is before Walmart. This is before any major chains. And to her credit, she said yes. They raised the money and they started printing their own games and literally selling them on street corners. And then he'd get a couple orders from the mail from a shop up in northern New York and Pennsylvania on the East Coast. And then one day, the wife of the Parker brothers was playing this game that he invented. She fell in love with the game. She went to her husband and said, you know what? I found this game. We were playing it at a party. You've got to buy this game. And he looked at it. He said, any game besides this one. I have written a handwritten note why this game is not going to work. Please pick another game. And as a loving wife, she said, no, you need to tuck your tail. You need to apologize. You need to buy this game. It's phenomenal. I've never played a game like it. Oh, he thinks to himself, are you kidding me? How am I going to go? All right. So they call up the guy who invented this game. And as he sat there, he realized he didn't need Parker Brothers anymore. He was already selling them. He was already making money. And they tried to buy it from him. He said, no, I'm not going to do it. He said, but what I am willing to do is license it to you. And you pay me a royalty on every single game you manufacture. And Parker Brothers said, hallelujah, let's take it. And that game was Monopoly. And it made him and his posterity $100 million. I mean, just phenomenal royalties, became the highest grossing game of all time. But they went to Lizzie Maggie, who invented the Landlord's Game, which Monopoly was patterned after. bought her rights, her patent for $500. So what's the difference between these two? The one who invented the original landlord's game, had it patented, and then someone who created a new version of it and went out on their own. It's a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. When we have a fixed mindset, we believe nothing's possible. When we have a growth mindset, we see that anything and everything is always possible. So when you think about a fixed mindset, it falls into this category. When your mind is stuck in fixed, you really get stuck in place. You have an enormous fear of failure. You're quick to quit. You're blind to feedback, and you have jealousy in overdrive. If you have a growth mindset, sky's the limit. You like to seek out challenges. You never give up. Massive fan of feedback. You're a cheerleader for other people's success. But you have to understand the fixed mindset was part of our protection. It was part of our DNA. When our ancestors were hunters and gatherers for thousands of years, if they heard a noise in the bushes, they had to decide really quickly, is that food or is that a predator coming to make me its food? So it learned to survive by having a fixed mindset. But the growth mindset came about during the Industrial Revolution. And that happened around late 1800s. When there was the Industrial Revolution, all of a sudden people went from the farms, went from hunting and gathering to realizing that we can make things, we can produce things on a large scale. And if we produce things on a large scale, then we change the world. If you look at the US Patent Office, it was opened in 1790. And so for 100 years, from 1790 to 1890, it only issued 100,000 patents. From 1890 to 1990, that whole industrial revolution, it created 4.5 million patents. Now let's look at the last 33 years. It's created 6 million patents in just 33 years. So we are exponentially growing right now at such a rampant rate of ideas and concepts and possibilities. But what is the fixed mindset in the world today? How do they see the world? Are they fearful? In fact, I was getting my haircut today, and the woman said, everyone's stressed, no one's making any money. And you look at her verbiage, everyone. Well, that can't be true. There's got to be somebody out there who's crushing it. But right now, the world has a fixed mindset. In fact, this summer, a great song by Oliver Anthony called Richmond, North of Richmond, basically where most of you guys are. It's this incredible song. It has over 65 million views in less than, I think it was 30 days. It hit 65 million views. And it talks about how wrong Washington is, and talks about how all these people are so focused on on their own selfish desires instead of other people. So it obviously hit a chord with people. It resonated on a very core level. If you haven't heard the song, go on to YouTube, look at it. It's amazing. He's singing in his backyard in Richmond, Virginia. But I like to look at what's factual. I'm an executive, a director executive, so I'm looking for proof. There's a massive growth mindset in the world today. So I decided to do some research and look back at 50 years. And I want to see what is the world today versus 50 years ago. So in 1973, the growth national product with GDP was 1.1 trillion. Today, it's over 21 trillion. So we're talking, was a 2,000% increase. If you look at the life expectancy in 73, so this is just 50 years ago, it was 71.4 years. Today, it's 76 years. So we're talking, what is that? Almost a 10% increase in life expectancy. The graduation rate in 73 was 77%. Now today, it's over 90%. Violent crimes are actually down 50%. It seems like they've gone up, but actually it's down. What's happened is because CNN and Fox News and all of these shows that run 24 hours a day, they just broadcast violence nonstop. But the actual accounts are down 50%. Technology in 1973 was pretty much non-existent. Today, look at where we're at. So actually, the US exports in 73 were 77 billion. Today, they are $2 trillion. So a growth mindset, the world is actually better than it's ever been. And not just some theory, this is mathematically provable. The world is better than it's ever been. But out in society, out in public, we hear all the negative, social media, TV news. So we start to believe it when it's not actually the case. So the impossible happens every single day, and we never even think about it. I love the animal kingdom because it's so unique in its differentiations from that and us as humans. You take a hummingbird, it weighs less than a nickel. It can fly 500 miles, so across the Gulf of Mexico nonstop. It is the only bird that can fly backwards. If you didn't know hummingbirds exist and I explained that to you, you'd say, oh, that's physically impossible. Cheetahs have been clocked at 75 miles per hour. Imagine driving down the freeway and seeing a cheetah pass you. Well, that's impossible. That doesn't have pistons and an engine and drive chains and transmissions. There's no way. It does it every single day. Octopuses can change the entire shape and color of its body by reading the ocean floor and photosynthesizing it and changing its color to be completely camouflaged. Once again, that sounds impossible. Take a spider web. The silk that it produces is actually 5 times stronger than steel at the same diameter. Coming out of a tiny spider, it's stronger than steel. But your mind would say, oh, that's impossible. The impossible happens every day. You have to learn to accept that and stretch your mind and believe anything and everything is possible. In 1963, Christian Tolstoy, also during the Great Depression, was struggling with his business, wasn't sure what to do. He was stuck with over 1,000 coats in the heart of the Depression. He had this great store on the corner of his famous town and street, and he thought, oh, I'll buy these coats. I'll be able to sell them, no problem. This will be really easy. He listed them, nobody would buy them. There's nothing he could do. Then with the growth mindset, he said, you know what? What if we hung all of our coats on the outside of our building? What kind of spectacle would that be? And he hung 1,000 coats on the outside of his building. And he sold out within 2 days before the fire department came and told him he had to take him down because it was a hazard. During the Great Depression, the hardest time to sell anything, he sold 1,000 coats in 2 days. Without that growth mindset, trying to do it traditionally, the way other people had done it, he couldn't sell a single coat. So this is called the cycle of success or the cycle of failure. It really is both of them. If you have a fixed mindset, start here on the left-hand side with beliefs. Your belief is times are tough, so hard to sell, no one's buying. Then what do you believe your potential is? You believe it's very small. You think no one's buying. So what actions do you take if you think the potential is very small? Very little action, which produces very negative results, which confirms your belief that, oh, obviously the economy's changed, interest rates are high, no one's buying. And we live in this cycle of failure. The reverse is true. If you believe anything and everything is possible, then you believe you have massive potential, that you can go out there and make a huge change in the world. So what happens? You take enormous action. When you take massive action, what happens? You get results. That then confirms your belief. You're like, oh yeah, everything's fantastic. What are we all complaining about? It's so great out there. We can do anything. We're all in this cycle. But what happens when you get stuck? What happens when you're in that mindset, that fixed mindset, you're stuck in your beliefs? You have to visualize something different. You have to see the world in a better scenario. You have to visualize that anything out there is possible for you to achieve. I started doing this back in August, where when I'd go to sleep, when I woke up, I didn't open my eyes. I would lay there and just give massive gratitude. Just give thanks for the day, my body, my lungs, my arms, my legs, just everything. And then as soon as I was done giving gratitude, I went into visualizing my day, visualizing everything working perfectly, visualizing success, opportunities, clients coming to me, visualizing money showing up in my bank, just constantly visualizing everything positive. I can't begin to tell you, and let me back up real quick. I am not one of those kumbaya type people. I am a director executive. I'm all about proof. And so when I say that I didn't take this lightly, I also went and researched the science behind it. When you understand the power of visualization, you realize that your subconscious mind is trying to always protect you. It's always looking for ways to keep you safe. So when we are afraid of rejection, we then don't take action because we're trying to be safe. If you visualize your life going the way you want to, even the ups and the downs, visualizing the downs and visualizing you turning around those downs into a positive, what happens is your mind has role played it. It's a dress rehearsal. It solves the problems for you. So then when you actually go out there in the world and something negative happens, your mind's like, hey, I've got this. We've already done this. We did the dress rehearsal. We won. Let me go ahead and handle this for you. That's the science behind visualization. Now, I want you to experience it. So if you will, stand up, or you can do it sitting, but try to stand up if you can. I want you to put your finger out in front of you, right directly in front of the camera. I want you to think of your spine as a steel rod, solid, firm, your feet solid on the ground, your knees locked, your finger out in front of you. Now, I want you to turn to your right as far as you can. Hold it. Look how far it is. Hold it in place. Identify it, and then bring it back. All right, do that. Now, let's try a visualization exercise. Close your eyes. I want you to visualize your back like a rubber band. So move your shoulders, move your back, move your neck, loosen your body up. Visualize your entire body like a rubber band, soft, relaxed. Visualize in your mind, see in your mind your finger out in front of you. Don't put it out there yet, just visualize it. See yourself turning to the right. See yourself going 3 to 6 inches further than the last time you did it. All right, now open your eyes, put your finger out, visualize and feel that your spine is a rubber band. Now turn and see how far you can go. You will realize you probably didn't go 3 or 6 inches. You probably went 12 to 18 inches. That is the power of visualization. Seeing what can be and then fulfilling it. I think it was 1956, the University of Chicago did a study with basketball players. They broke into 3 groups. The first group, they said, you get 1 hour to practice. I want you to practice every day for 30 days, only for an hour, shooting hoops from the free throw line, and then we're going to see in 30 days how well you're doing. The second group, we want you to come to the gym. You cannot touch the basketball. We want you to visualize taking shots from the free throw line, being able to make the basket, and just sit there for 1 hour visualizing. The third group, they said, we don't want you to participate at all. Don't touch a ball. You're not even allowed in the gym. What happened 30 days later? The third group had a decline in their proficiency, their ability. They actually shot worse. The second group increased their proficiency by 23%. Here's what's staggering. The first group only increased by 24%, a 1% difference. And let's be honest, in any study, 1 to 3%, 3% is the error issues. So they're almost the exact same. 30 days not touching the ball, 30 days touching the ball. The key was visualizing it. When you think about your life, how often do you visualize that negative things happen to you? How often do you visualize something bad happening? How often do those things come true? I want you to try an exercise for the next week. Wake up every day, give gratitude. Think of your day going phenomenal. Think it and visualize and see yourself talking to people, inviting them to participate in Renatas, inviting them to upgrade their coaching, upgrade in Renatas to the next level, getting the profits course. Visualize you talking to people. See yourself upgrading your education if you don't have it. Visualize more money coming into your life. And I will guarantee you in the next 7 to 14 days, if you do this, you will see a positive change absolutely take place in your life. If you want more proof, let's go for more just for fun. Michael Phelps, greatest swimmer of all time. During one of his Olympic battles, his glasses, his goggles broke and he couldn't see. And they asked him, what was happening? And he said, when my goggles filled with water, I was relaxed because I reverted back to my training. Visualizing the race, I swam blind for 175 meters out of 200-meter fly, won the gold medal, and broke the world record. He broke the world record not being able to see, and not that he was competing against kindergartners. Everybody at his level is the best of the best. They win within 0.01 seconds of one another. He was blind, and he still pulled it off. He actually broke a 2100-year record, becoming the first person to win 13 gold medals in the singles competition, not including his team medals. He's won 39 world records, 28 gold medals, 28 Olympic medals, 23 gold, 3 silver, and 2 bronzes. all because of visualization. I'm going to end on this last story here, and then I'll go to Q&A, whatever you guys want to talk about. I love questions, so start thinking of questions, write them in the chat now, and I'll answer as many questions as you want. A couple of decades ago, teenage boy was at school struggling, not fitting in like most of us don't. And his entire family was working at the rubber tire company just to make ends meet. His dad got in a fight with the manager, and the manager fired his entire family. He was ended up being homeless. He and his family lived in the camper van throughout the summer. Finally got to his aunt's house and lived in the camper van outside of his aunt's house. And then he had this passion, this dream to be a comedian, to be on stage. And his mom sewed him together this nasty velvet looking suit to get on stage, and he bombed horribly. This person was Jim Carrey. He thought, you know what? If I'm really going to do this, and he lived in Canada, he thought, I got to go to Hollywood. I got to make a stand. I got to make a change in my life. Goes to Hollywood. He's living out of his Toyota. And during this time, he started to visualize himself being successful. And it started to pay off. Roger Dangerfield, or what's his name? Rodney Dangerfield, ended up having him open up for his acts. He got a couple gigs, did the TV show In Living Color. He brought his parents down from Canada to live in Hollywood, bought him a house, and then lost everything. Didn't work out. He had to have his parents tuck their tails, go back to Canada. And he sat there on Mulholland Drive, and he wrote himself a check for $10 million. And he kept it in his back pocket. He said, I will be paid $10 million. And every night he would visualize this check. He'd visualize the success of getting $10 million for a movie. Now, mind you, he has nothing in that moment. There was nothing on the horizon that said, oh, he's going to be the true success comedian that he became. He was lonely. He was afraid, but he visualized. And right when his dad passed away, he took out that check from his wallet. He put in his dad's suit coat before the coffin was closed. He said, Dad, I guarantee you I will be paid $10 million for my next movie. And lo and behold, he was for Dumb and Dumber within 30 days after his dad passed away. He said, you can fail at what you don't want, so you might as well take the chance on doing what you love. I love Jim Carrey. I love what he stands for. And so in closing, what I want you to think about are vision boards. A lot of us have seen or have done vision boards in the past. I want to put a twist to it. Switch the word from a vision board to an action board. Use your primary and secondary drive. So on the right-hand side of the vision board / action board, I want you to do your primary drive. So I'm a director. I'm all about lifestyle. So when I created my action board, I put my things that I wanted to, the way I wanted to live, the house, the car, the lifestyle, the trips. But then 2/3 of it, I used my secondary drive. So I'm an executive on my secondary. I want to win, have proof, control, solve problems, overcome obstacles. And so I put keywords, activities, things that I physically have to do to make that dream come true. And I look at it every day. And when you look at it every day, what happens is your mind role plays it. It sees it and says, hey, we can do this. There's nothing that's going to hold us back. So guys, I'm going to close on this and then open up the Q&A. You can unmute yourself or ask me a question in the chat, but I'm here to serve you. What can I do for you?
Woody, that was just amazing. And I've heard many of those things already. It's just like where focus goes, energy flows, right? It's like what
Absolutely
Robin
does.
says. So and if you're brand new to the game, like if you just got started with our group and you don't understand what the drive system is, we'll fill you in at a later date, because there might be like one or two of you that don't know. So
Woody, it was amazing hearing you. I have a question for you, so I could have it a little bit more clear in my mind, so I could apply it right away. I've been doing the vision board thing. It's been working really good, but you have like such an interesting way to put it. I would like you to give me some more examples, if you can, on the secondary drive and in the primary drive. What would you put like in those, if you can give us some examples?
Yeah, so let's look at, in fact, let me do something really quick. Let me pull up the drive. So like Umair was saying, if people aren't familiar with it, let me pull up. second. Okay, so for those of you who may not be familiar, this is how you discover your drive. So to answer your question, do you know what your drive is?
Yes, yes, it's my family.
So you're a relator first. So do you know your secondary drive?
Okay.
But I don't think they know how to do that. So like,
Yeah.
Okay, so then let me walk you through completely how to discover your drive. So the key first is reading each of these cards, then read them a second time and put them in order of what makes you feel important, not what's important to you. So for example, family and work can be important to you, but family and work may not make you feel important. Doesn't mean you're a bad spouse or sibling or parent, but you're looking at what makes you feel on top of the world. What makes you feel connected to your true source, your true power, who you really are. What activities are you doing where you feel on top of the world? Then the D, the R, the I, the V, the E, these cards that are in front of you, put them in order of what makes you feel important from the most to the least. So Umair, just so they understand, give me your drive.
yes. So I am a VE.
Okay, so he's what's called a validator executive. So the validator side, if you're looking at the vision board, the 1/3, the smaller portion, he would put everything there for validation, meaning whatever trophies, whatever accomplishments, wherever he's trying to go to get that validation in his personal life. Then on the 2/3 side, the work behind it is that secondary drive. So for those of you who aren't familiar with drive, your primary drive is the car you're driving, meaning the direction that you're moving. So for him, it's the recognition, acceptance, praise, and trust. The fuel is the secondary drive. So as an executive, he uses winning, control, work, goal, security, providing, problem solving to fuel his car so he gets the recognition. So on the vision board or the action board, the 2/3 would be everything about winning, discipline, control, taking advantage of a situation in a positive way to control his outcome. Does that help? Does that clarify it?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. This is so
My
powerful.
pleasure. I love questions. I will stay on all night long. The more questions you guys ask, the more I'll answer. So just let me know, unmute yourself. Let me know what you're thinking. I'm happy to answer anything.
There are a couple of questions on the chat, Woody. One, Michelle is asking, Woody, is visualization the same as imagination?
It's a little different. So imagination is using creativity to solve problems, and that's a beautiful thing. I'm a huge fan of creativity. Visualization is role playing, seeing something from the beginning to the end. And yes, you use your imagination in that exercise because you got to create it in your mind. But okay, let's do it right now. Visualize, close your eyes, visualize yourself jumping. What does it take to jump? Visualize your knees bending, visualize your spine compressing, visualizing the force of pushing off the ground to jump up. Visualize being in the air, visualize stretching in the air. That's what I'm talking about. You see the entire process from squatting down to get pressure to launching up and leaving the ground. So if you're visualizing your cells, it's not a short, quick visualization. I visualize for, on average, probably 10 to 15 minutes every morning before I get out of bed. So it's truly visualizing the entire day, specifically you doing actions to get you the results you want.
There's another one. Would you like me to read it for you, or?
Yeah, because I'm trying to, oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead and read it. That way, yeah.
Hi, Woody. Thanks so much. This is Kelly for taking time to join us tonight. When talking about visualization, I continue to try to incorporate it into my everyday. something that I find myself struggling with is actually believing what I'm visualizing. It works and then it doesn't. Sometimes the realistic in me prevents me from doing it successfully. Any tips on this? Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Great question, Kelly. And I'll be honest, I've done the same thing where I visualize for 3-4 months, things are going awesome, and I just quit doing it. Just weird. So it's the constant reminder. So I believe in what's called habit hacking. So if you put a note on your door or on your mirror in your bathroom, so you're brushing teeth, something you see every day, that's kind of hacking your habits. It will help you remind you to do it. Another thing is keeping a journal of the proof of it working. So visualizing it, write it down. Today I'm gonna have this, this, and this happen to me. Then as soon as it begins to happen, you say, look, it totally worked. Now, I want to be very clear and make sure I'm setting the right expectation. It does not mean that if you visualize it, it's instantly going to happen, or it's going to happen exactly as you visualize it. No different than if you're on a court shooting basketball and you're practicing your free throw line. And then when you play the game, you don't shoot the exact same way because now you have pressure, stress, someone's chasing you, the clock is going down. But the muscle memory, the way the ball leaves your hand is the same. So when you practice and you role play and you visualize talking to people, them saying no, you creating sales rebuttals in your head and them saying yes, it's not going to happen the exact same way. But when you go to do it, it's going to feel a lot more natural than when you don't practice. So really think of it all as just visualization is practicing the day and your life, seeing how it is going to go the way you want it to go. And then when the real world happens, it's going to be a variation of that. But one thing I will promise and guarantee you is it will be better than if you do not visualize. Same with all the case studies I've shown you. When people don't visualize, when they don't practice, they fail a lot more often. Great questions, guys.
I'm curious about the, I mean, it's really good to know everybody's drive, because if we know each other's drive, then we could actually speak to it and everyone will be more fulfilled. I used to like feel like I didn't want to share my drive, or I felt like, remember I was telling you about like how I felt about it, but us knowing each other's drive and how we operate, it'll just help us build a stronger bond and have more respect for each other. Like me and Yas are the same drive but opposite, and we kill each other.
Yeah.
We literally kill each other, but at least we know how to correct some of those things in our personal relationships. So
if you'll notice, if you'll look at my name, it says Woody Woodward, DE, Director Executive. So you guys could all change your names on this. Since you guys do this regularly, you should absolutely have your name with your drive next to it, especially in a group setting. When I go into different corporations and I talk to them, in the cubicles, they'll have their drive before they enter the cubicle. So that way, when you go to talk to them, you know exactly what drive you're presenting to, how to address them, not to offend them. Yeah, Umair, you just changed yours. I love that.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that, man. I never see that. It's like just that little tip right there. If we're in a mastermind together and they're even talking about real estate and deals, like, you know, kind of like what they're looking for in that deal and what would help them feel fulfilled in that project. Oh, that is gold, right? Like,
And to add to that, when I know someone's drive, when I have their name saved in my cell phone, I put the drive next to it.
man, that's another great tip.
Yeah, so
I'm
when I
writing
go-
that one down.
Yeah, so when I go to call people or I'm texting them, I instantly know their drive. I'm like, oh, okay, great, this is it. Okay, yep, we gotta make sure I address this issue, make sure I address that issue. Yeah.
That is so smart and caring at the same time, because it's putting your relationships first.
That's the key. When you know someone's drive, it has absolutely nothing to do with manipulation or manipulating people. It has to do with loving them, serving them, speaking the language they care about, not what you care about. I remember the golden rule, do unto others the way you want to be done unto.
Yeah.
Totally selfish. I'm going to treat you the way I want to be treated. That's selfish. The platinum rule, which is higher than gold, do unto others the way they want to be done unto. So treat them based on their drive and not your drive.
And if you really get this, like I've heard this so much, I've taken your classes, but sometimes it's like in a moment where it like hits you. And it's like I'm almost having one of those moments right now, because it's like,
That's beautiful.
imagine how much more business that we could do as a group, or just individually. Imagine how many more deals you can close. Imagine your life that you could live by, one, just doing the visualization and the training, but just really understanding drive.
Well, okay, let's go. I love that. And let's go even deeper.
Okay.
Imagine as you're waking up, visualizing your drive getting met.
Ooh.
Visualize your day going the way you want based on your drive. Don't even visualize the cells. For the first week, just visualize your drive being internally validated for you by you. What that does is that will actually boost your dopamine and your serotonin. You'll be more enthusiastic for life, and you will show up confidently in every room you enter, which that in itself will affect your cells and everything else.
Woody,
Drop the
um,
mic.
just two comments, if I may.
Please.
In terms of visualization, and it's kind of strange because in the last 2 days, for a very long time that I have experienced my drive being met, and now I get a better feeling because I really experimented euphoria from having my drive met. Like everything was falling into place, and it was an amazing experience. And in terms of visualization, I think it also helps me to work on scenarios of dealing with obstacles, dealing with maybe not the right response that I want to, and how am I going to respond when it's not what could be predicted. Like, it's, thinking scenarios, basically.
So I love that, because what you're doing is, if I understood you correctly, you are role playing things going the way you want. And when they don't go the way you want, you also role play how you can get your drive met, even in that turnaround. And so when things aren't going the way they want, in essence, they're violating your drive. The only time you feel anxious, frustrated, exhausted, angry is when your drive is being violated. So the shift to that is what I call the 3 R's. It's the secret sauce: reassess, realign, re-engage. So when you have that emotional frustration, exhaustion, someone cancels on you, the deal goes or doesn't go through, and you get frustrated, reassess, meaning look at your first drive. So you're a DE, same as me, director. You're not experiencing life the way you want. Your life's purpose isn't being met. You don't feel free. You're not being creative. So that one's being violated. Number 2, so reassess, realign. That's your secondary drive. That's the fuel in the car. So, if you're driving a car that's an unleaded car and you put diesel in it, the car is going to crash. It's going to die. So when we feel exhausted and our car has stopped on the side of the road, we put the wrong gas in. We put in external gas, meaning we were looking to other people, places, or things. So reassess, realign is fueling yourself internally, doing those activities for you, by you, on your secondary drive, which takes you to the 3rd R, which is re-engage. So now that you feel internal, now that you feel empowered, now that you feel confident, go back out in the world and go make a difference.
Thank you, Woody.
My pleasure. Thank you, Anna. Good to see you again.
And we had another question from Loretta. She goes, should your drive change? If so, how often, or why not? I think it's more of could, right?
Yes, your drive is created by what is called dramas and traumas. So dramas are a very positive thing, very dramatic. So seeing your first baby born, graduating high school, that first kiss, your first love, first promotion, anything that's super positive and super dramatic is when your drive is being created. Also, when it's very traumatic, something very negative. So for me, on my director side, experiencing life being free and independent. So growing up, I was told that I was stupid and that I couldn't read. And then I chose not to read because I was told I was stupid. So this yearning for freedom, that trauma of being told I was stupid, created this drive to be free and independent. Now, it rarely changes. I want to be very clear on that. It rarely changes. I had the same drive for 17 years. I was a director relator my entire life until COVID. In fact, the book, the Drive Sales book, I wrote during COVID, and I was still a director relator because I put that in the book. But then what happened during COVID? As a direct relator, we had sold everything to go travel the world. We got trapped in Florida, had 0 relationships. It's COVID. I can't reach out and connect to anybody. All my seminar speeches got canceled, so I can't share my message with anyone. And it shifted. That trauma shifted from a DR to a DE. So for some of you who've done drive or emotional fingerprint over the years with me, and you think, well, Woody, something's just weird with me, and I just did my drive again, it changed. It probably did since COVID. I would say probably 50 to 70% of the people I know, their drive changed during COVID. Everybody in my family, there's 5 of us, every one of us had our drives changed during COVID. And keep in mind, for those of you who know my story, I've been rich and poor more times than I can count. I've filed bankruptcy. I've been on food stamps. I've had houses, foreclosed on, cars repossessed. None of that changed my drive. So you never know when that drama or trauma is going to happen. So you can't consciously change your drive. It will only change on a drama or trauma, whatever is that really unique, specific thing to you. What you can change, and this is what I teach on changing, is how you get it met. Shifting from internal to external. And I'll do a quick explanation of that. Oh, I don't have, okay, give me one, let me do a stop and let me pull up a different one for you. Thank you guys for the questions. I love the questions.
Thank you. No, I mean, we're getting so much out of this. I hope you guys get as much as I'm getting. It's like I learn more about myself, and the more I learn about myself, the better I'm able to just interact with the world. It's interesting.
That is so true. Because when you think about it, you are the conduit to your world. So the more that you invest in yourself, the more that you increase yourself, your abilities, the better you become as a human being.
Wow.
The better your cells are. And it's just organic. It's a byproduct. Okay, so here's something really cool. I literally just created this last week. I haven't shared it with anyone in Renatus yet, but let's go now. Let's see. Okay, so these are the 5 drives. Directors about lifestyle, relators are about community, intellectuals are about systems, validators about admiration, and executives want proof. So then I started doing some studies and saying, okay, what famous people out there have that same drive? So for the directors, Elon Musk, Beyonce, Richard Branson, and J.K. Rowling are all directors. Relator, Oprah Winfrey, Dalai Lama, Taylor Swift, and MLK. Intellectuals, Albert Einstein, Michelle Obama, Warren Buffett, and Jeff Bezos. Validators, Mark Cuban, Brene Brown, Howard Schultz. If you don't know who Howard is, he's the founder of Starbucks, and Emma Watson. Executives, Kobe Bryant, Sheryl Sandberg. If you don't know who she is, she was the COO of Facebook since the beginning of Facebook. She's the one who, she's the strongest, toughest woman in Silicon Valley. Steve Jobs and Serena Williams. So we go back to the internal external side. You guys want to see a secret? I'm going to show you guys a secret. This is something I was working on right before this call. This one's for me, so this is selfish. So there are 70 plus slides. I've gone down and broken down all kinds of famous personalities now, their primary and secondary drives. I've gone into fictitious characters. So let's go down here to Sherlock Holmes, what his drive is. Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny. I've spent all weekend, all the Marvel characters, what their drives are. So this will be a future training. I was literally working on this right before I got on the call. But you want to know any drive, all the Harry Potter characters, what their drives are. We went into Star Wars, their drives, primary and secondary. We went into DC and all their drives. And then right before this call, I was working on The Office. So Jim Halpert. So I'm going through his. So that's what I'll be doing after the call. So that was just a fun, selfish thing. Let me go to internal and external.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. Even when I have all the free time in the world, I'm still doing drive.
It's your baby.
It's everything that I love. I just love it. I've done it 20 years and I've never gotten tired of it. It's like loving the same person. If you truly love them, you never get bored of it. So your drive is neutral by nature. Nobody has a good or bad drive. So Mother Teresa had a drive. Adolf Hitler had a drive. How you seek to validate it is what is, and I'm going to use the word efficient or inefficient. I hate to use the word good or bad because then people put moral value on it, and it has nothing to do with morals. It's what's efficient and inefficient. When we're external, that means we look to other people, places, or things. We feel the fear, the anxiety, the depression, the loneliness, the doubt, the pride, the scarcity. That's not bad. It's just an inefficient way to live. And I'll skip this part, but if we go to internal, when we're internally motivated, we look to ourselves, for you, by you. Hope, confidence, strength, faith, courage, vision, clarity, and charity. When we're internally validated, we have unlimited power, unlimited love, unlimited energy, and we take it from the inside out. My very first client, her name was Tammy Walsh. She said, as soon as you go within, you will never go without. And I thought that is the most profound statement regarding drive. As soon as you internally validate yourself, meaning you are giving yourself everything you emotionally need, now you need nothing from it. You physically can't go without. I'm going to jump back to the chats and see what other questions I can answer for you guys.
I see a really good one here. LaFay Jones, when drives are totally opposite and you try to work together, what is the best way to make it work? I want to know the answer to that.
The marriage question or the business partner question. All right, let's go there.
Well, I know it starts with, like, obviously, if you're being internal most of the time, then it's going to be better because you're being internal instead of external. You're meeting your drives internally. But that's just you. If you have to live with someone and they have an opposite drive, or if you have to do business with someone. Yeah, that's a great question, LaFay.
No, I love this question. So when I discovered drive, I was always, and I still to this day, always looking for patterns because I think patterns reveal truth. So I thought, okay, is there going to be a female and male dominant drive? There isn't. And I thought, okay, is it going to be conflicting drives where validators don't get along with directors and relators don't get along with intellectuals? That never revealed itself. What I did find is the conflict between drives is the conflict between internal and external. That's the only conflict. Any two drives can be married. Any two drives can be business partners. What really matters is whether both those parties are being internally motivated. When I first moved to Utah, there's a big mountain here called Timpanogos, and there's a huge cave in it. So I thought, oh, I'll go hike up there with my son. We went in the cave. We got in there, and the woman said, okay, I want you to stand against the wall, put your hands on the wall, hold the wall. I'm going to turn off all the lights in the cave, and it's going to be as dark as you've ever seen. Now, we've all had moments where it's dark, right? Like it's really dark, you can't see. This was like the depths of hell. Like it was scary. She turned off the lights and there was not, I couldn't see past my eyelids. I'm talking pure blackness. She said, okay, now watch this. She took a laser pointer, you know, those really inexpensive laser pointers. She put it on her diamond ring and shot it, and it lit up the entire cave. And it symbolized to me that light will always consume darkness. That is scientific. Internal motivation will always consume external motivation. Think of the Gandhis of the world. People who have changed the world changed it internally, not externally. Maybe externally for a moment, like Adolf Hitler, but Mother Teresa, the other people who sought internal validation are the ones who truly changed the world forever. So external breeds external, internal breeds internal. So if you come in an argument or discussion and both parties are external, I can guarantee you that is only going to elevate the externalness that you have. If one is external and one is internal, the internal will always absorb the external because that's where love, patience, charity, all that comes from internal motivation.
So basically, it's just when people aren't getting along, they're both being external.
100% true.
Now,
I've been married 28 years, and there are many days I want to bury my wife in the backyard. So that's totally normal. I accept the terms of that agreement. There's days she wants to bury me in the backyard. But when we're both being internal or striving to get through something together, there is nothing we cannot achieve. Now, if we're having an external moment, and I love being transparent because I believe in being transparent, 2 days ago, I had a huge fight with my wife. We fight probably once a quarter, maybe 3 times a year. And I guess it was just time for that fight. We both got external. We both got elevated. We both said things we shouldn't have said. But within a very short period of time, we saw our errors. We both apologized. We both got more internal, and we ended up going to the grocery store together and having a fantastic night. So the benefit to internal motivation is it doesn't matter how long your day is bad. You get to choose how long it stays bad. If we're external, it stays bad for weeks. Like earlier in our relationship, that type of argument would have lasted 2 weeks. Complain, moan, say, snide comments to each other passing in the hallway. But the more internal you get, you realize, you know what? I'm sorry, I had an external moment. And think of them as moments. No one's 100% internal, no one's 100% external. You're having moments. It's like a gas gauge. So when you have those external moments, stop, reassess, realign, re-engage, feel that internal love, that internal confidence, and then you get really clear in your head of how you want to treat your business partner, your loved one, your children, and you change your behavior.
So powerful. Thank you.
There's another question, Woody, from D. Do you update your vision plan yearly? If so, do you carry forward those primary goals that you continue to work toward that you haven't accomplished yet?
Yep, absolutely. I sometimes do them quarterly, sometimes twice a year, annually. It just depends on how quickly I accomplish my action board. If it happens in 18 months, I update everything. Or if I feel like it's lagging, I'll challenge it, say, what should I be going for? What do I really want? And what internal things do I want? Not external things. What internally do I want to accomplish? Then they happen a lot faster.
There's another one. At what age do drives come into play?
Early, between ages 3 and 6, your original drive is created. When I've done drive, I've gone into elementary schools and I've taught drive. I find that children aged 10 to 12, preferably 12 and older, understand drive instantly. Because the more external somebody is, the more they understand drive because they feel the pain. So if I've gone into the prison system, I've gone into addiction facilities, the more external someone's life is, especially teenagers live a very external life, they see it instantly like, oh my gosh, this is such a solution for me. Years ago, I had made a movie called Iology, Study of Importance. And somehow a DVD got to this teacher, this English teacher. She had her class watch it. And one day I got this stack of letters in the mail. And she had everybody in her class watch it and then write basically a report on it. It was the coolest thing. And these kids talked about how, 2 of them talked about being suicidal, watching this movie, realizing that they have a potential to have internal motivation, that they can change their life. It instantly liberated them. So to me, it's always about how do we teach people to have internal motivation so they can change their lives forever.
Wow, awesome. With a question, what is the difference? I know you call it action board or dream board, action board. What is the difference of that or vision board?
Honestly, it's nothing more than semantics.
Oh, okay.
You can call it a vision board. The reason I say the word action board is it feels like there's more personal responsibility for me to take action. The word vision board, oh, I'm just going to dream about it. I'm just going to hope it happens. If I call it an action board, that means I know I have to take action for it to happen.
Hey, Woody, this is Truman. I have a quick question.
Hey, Truman, good to hear. I started my day with you, brother. I'm going to end my night with you.
It's been good. I'm telling you, I've been getting motivated, so it's been a blessing. And just a hand up from Yaz. Thank you so much about the drop card stuff. That stuff is really starting to take shape and form, and Sonia's been staying on me about it as well. So that's been great. I did wanted to go back to, you were talking in the beginning about the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. And I'm kind of understanding that, visualization is a key part of, overcoming the fixed mindset. But could you kind of like go back into that a little bit more about breaking out of the habit of the fixed mindset and becoming more growth mindset focused?
Absolutely. Let me pull this up for you. So most of you know that I have a learning disability, ADHD, dyslexia, and so I've always struggled with understanding things. And so when I got into this space 20 years ago, I didn't have a PhD. I never went to college. I never took a personality course or anything. So everything I've learned, I've had to learn by interviewing people and basically boots on the ground, guerrilla type style. And what I realized, every single thing is a cause and effect. So a fixed mindset, the only reason a human being has a fixed mindset is when their drive is being external. So I'm a director executive. So my version of a fixed mindset, and all of you can role play this right now just for fun. You know your drive, you're a director, whatever, or intellectual, whatever. Your fixed mindset is tied to your drive. So as a director executive, if I'm being external and my life is not going the way I want, I absolutely am every one of these words. I'm stuck in place. I have a fear of failure that I'm not going to live the lifestyle that I want as a director. I'm quick to quit because I'm like, well, if I keep going down this road, I'll never have the lifestyle that I want. I'm blind to feedback. I won't listen to anybody because I'm like, well, I know better. And then I'm jealous of other people who have the lifestyle that I want. That's a cause and effect. Now, if you're being internal, sky's the limit. I feel so positive right now. I'm like, right now, I don't care what's happening in the world. I feel anything is possible. I'm chasing new challenges. I'm doing a Drive AI website. I'm doing these masterminds. I'm trying to push my limits. I'm always pushing harder because I have this mindset like anything's possible. Never give up. I want feedback. I'll always use the phrase challenge everything. Let's see what we need to know, what we need to know. And I will always cheerlead other people on. I want them to be successful. But that only happens when I have internal motivation. If I'm doing it externally, I slide back into the fixed mindset. So is that clarity, Truman? Awesome, brother. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. I just wanted to hear a little bit more about it. So
Yeah, no, spot on. Love it.
Woody, as a person that I'm beginning to realize that I have some ADHD on me. As a person that has some challenges in organizing the mind to accomplish those goals, what helps you to keep your mind organized and to accomplish the what you want to accomplish?
Okay, so I'll be very clear. I'm not a doctor, but I have lived with this for 50 years, so I will speak on my experience. I just want to clarify that. ADHD and all the acronyms out there absolutely get accentuated worse when you're external, because you got to think of external has no control. You're looking to other people, places, and things to validate you, to push you in the direction you're going. So when you feel your ADHD or anything kicking in and you can't focus, I call it the shoulds. I should have done this. I should have done that. You're tearing yourself down. It's only because you're being external. That's that inefficient way to live. When I'm internal, I can control my mind. I can slow my mind down. And more importantly, I have the power to say no to things. So I get hit up all the time. I need you to do this, speak here, do that. I'm like, nope, 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 nope. But if I'm external, I'm like, yes, yes, yes. And then my schedule's out of control, my family's out of control, and my business is out of control. So think about internal as a source of power of consciousness, that you are being able to look at your schedule saying, this does not serve me. Yeah, I know in theory I should do it. It doesn't serve me. I'm going to say no to it. So just the more internal you get, the more your brain slows down, you're more conscious, you're more present, more in the moment.
I love it. All right, guys, we're coming to the top of the hour, but we're just
Thank you.
We're going to finish. We got a few more questions. Maybe you can answer them, Woody. LaFay says, I think you should have a class to help spouses or partners understand each other's better and how to work together and meet each other's drive, because we will always defend our drive.
Always. Right? Yeah, there's 3 principles. Principle 3, you'll hear me talk about all the time. Principle 3 states, subconsciously or consciously, you'll do anything within your belief system to defend and support your drive. I can take every argument you've ever had, lay it out on a board, put your drive above it, and just circle every time you're defending and supporting your drive. And that's why every argument exists.
Facts.
So we definitely should do a relationship course. It would be really fun.
Yes. Okay, here's another one. Are the drive cards still available? Is there a website or QR code to order?
Currently, no. I do have them. They are in a warehouse in Michigan. I've got to create either a link or website where people can go on, click them, buy them, and order them. I have a certain amount already committed to my mastermind group I have right now, but I have enough that, and I should have this done with less than a week or two. Then I can send you guys the link and you just go on and get them.
Okay. And then Deborah says, when you say the system has been introduced into various institutions, prisons, schools, has there also been statistical data studies done validating and verifying your observations? She's probably an intellectual.
That's a great question. Not by a third party. So I can give you case studies of the ones that I have managed and monitored, and I've gone into the prison system and I've done that. But like Myers and Briggs and DISC and all these other things, they're always looking for that empirical data. Follow me to any seminar. The empirical data is on the spot. When you see everyone raise their hand, you see everyone know their drive. It's unanimous every single time.
I love it. Wow. Woody, this was amazing. Let's all get around.
I appreciate you guys.
Right.
Love you tons. Thank you, Yaz and Amir, for you guys, your examples, who you are, this community, and just keep crushing it, keep diving in deep and going deeper into your life and your personal development, and you'll always succeed.
I love it. And some are asking, Woody, how could you be reached, or is that even possible?
Yeah, I'm super easy to get hold of. Go on to Facebook. I'll give you my cell number. My cell number is area code 951-973-3408. That's 951-973-3408. The best thing is, if you do want to reach me, text me or message me on Facebook. My Facebook is at Meet, M-E-E-T, Woody, W-O-O-D-Y. Find me there. I don't go to bed till I respond to everybody. So if you hit me up, and if I don't respond to you within 24 hours, I guarantee you I did not get it.
I love it. I love it. All right, team. This was valuable. I mean, this is something that you would go and really spend thousands of dollars to pay for at an event. And Woody, he's just so gracious to do this for us. So man, thank you again. We love and respect you, and can't wait to see you again soon. Bye, team. We'll
Thank you
talk
so
soon.
much.
Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
Woody. Good night.
Have a great night, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you, Woody. This was amazing.
Love you guys.
so much.
Amazing.
Reach out if you guys need anything. We're a community. We got your back. Bye, guys.
Always. Thanks, guys. See ya.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Sure.